appreciate all the many blessings of life that you have given us. We appreciate the sunshine that's here over the last couple of days. It's after all the rains we've had, and with basically minor damage. So we thank you for that as well. Watch over us as we conduct this meeting, and may all things we do here be pleasing to you. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, shit.
Roll call, the officers.
Michael Morse,
Present.
John Hillenbrand,
Present.
Richard Chatton,
Present.
Mary Chrismore, Kevin Meyer,
Here.
Dan Reitmeyer,
Present.
Jay Yoakum.
Here.
Call the county board. Has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda?
You betcha.
You said a motion.
Yes, I'll make a motion to
Motion
approve.
by Councilman Yocum,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Meyer. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Minutes. Everybody had a chance to preview the minutes.
Move to approve.
Motion by Councilman Chatton, seconded by Councilman Chrismore for the minutes for the last meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Carried, 7-0. Appointments, we have the Freemanville Regional Sewer District still on the board. Nothing so far, so we'll move on from that. What we'd real quick like, if we could be indulged, if we get Judge Johnson to come up and get through this.
There we go. All right, Brian Johnson, Judge of Knox County Superior Court Number 2. I was here last month, as most of you are aware, regarding the court recording equipment. I'm here this month to request to convert my part-time job to a full-time job. I think I've talked to a majority of you about that. The other two courts in Knox County, that being Circuit Court, I think did the same thing 3 to 4 months ago, and then Superior Court Number 1 with Judge Lee did it about a year ago. I think you guys are all aware we're crazy busy like anyone else. I threw some numbers together just briefly to tell you kind of where we're at from last year to what we're on pace for this year. My specific court is going to have about 500 to 600 additional filings. That's just from last year to this year if we continue on with the pace that we're at. If you go back to 2020 and we project out where we're going to go this year, it's over 1,000 more cases in my court. So most of you guys are aware kind of where we're at. We're just very busy. And right now I have 3 full-time court reporters. My part-time person I was going to keep on for as long as she wanted. A few months ago she told me she wanted to go back and stay home with her kids. So I thought this was the point to go ahead and apply for a 4th position. It's needed, it's necessary. My 3 current court reporters are working their tail off, and that's my request here today. I'm happy to field any questions or concerns that you guys might have. Why are you so much busier? It's a great question. I think if you look at this, I always look at it like a funnel, right? We have lots of law enforcement officers, right? They've been hiring more as we go. I don't know if Chief Hillenbrand, I don't know if you're full to capacity, but I know you're close, right? Same thing with the Sheriff's Department. So it starts there with arrests and different things. And then if you're aware, when I started here 16 years ago, I think we maybe had 2 or 3 prosecutors, and that office was very small. Now we're up to, 5, and that office is growing. So it all just trickles down, right? You have your officers making arrests when you have more of those and more incidents. We have a lot of mental health issues, which everyone here, I think, is aware of. But so you have more officers with more incident reports, more prosecutors, and then it all just kind of funnels down to the court system. So I don't know that that's a great answer for you, but I know that's kind of the way I think about it.
I can speak for the Vincent's Police Department. We're already, from last year, looking at last year to this year, we're a little over 600 calls to service more than last year at this point.
Yeah. So it's just,
And that's going to continue to go up.
yeah, it's not
This
going.
situation is not going to decrease any,
No.
so we definitely need to be looking into it.
So is it really mostly just mental health stuff then, a lot of it?
Well,
there's a
so
whole
if
campus that's
you just took the mental health cases, I think those are up. But the mental health turns into everything else, right? It turns into protective orders, it turns into criminal matters. And it's a problem, not just in our county, not just in the state of Indiana, it's everywhere, right? I don't know, we're all searching for answers, but yeah, the mental health, if you just look at MH cases, those are up. I haven't looked at those specific numbers, but then it all trickles down. I know our law enforcement are dealing with mental health cases. They try to take them to the hospital, do emergency detentions, do different things. There's only so much we can do there, and then they end up with criminal trespasses and different things that just flow everywhere. So, yeah. And our legislature has tried to expand the law to allow law enforcement to do the emergency detentions. It's just we've been working on it local. We have meetings all the time. We're trying to take care of it. It's just a hard problem to tackle.
Does the amount requested fall in line with the other full-time people in your?
Yeah, so it
office?
would be identical to everyone else. We have a schedule. I think we have an ordinance, right? That's my understanding. And then there's that longevity scale that we got passed, I think, in 2021. So I'm just asking for just basically what everyone else is making, and then depending on who I hire, right, in line with everyone else.
So the part-time then will completely roll off and then will just be the full-time?
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
all
My
right.
part-time, actually, I think the budget was a little bit over 21,000. I've used maybe 3 of that, and then, so, yeah.
So that full-time pays $25,391?
No,
Is that it on there?
That's the addition.
That would,
200.
yeah,
That's above and beyond?
that would be the balance. If you add that to the 18 or whatever those numbers
Right,
are, that would be
okay,
the
that's
total.
what I thought.
Yeah, we had budgeted 21,200 for the part-time positions, so.
Yes, yes. I couldn't get anyone if that was the full-time position counted. So,
No.
Yeah. I move we go ahead and approve this additional.
I'll second the motion.
He's got it.
Motion by Councilman Chatton, seconded by Councilman Hillenbrand. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
okay, thank you.
7-0.
Appreciate it.
I'd like to add, a friend of mine was in your court recently in support of her daughter, and she was amazed at your patience and how well you handled everything in the courtroom.
Thank you.
She was just amazed.
Good, I appreciate that. We live in a world. I was telling a couple people, we had a drug court graduation about a month ago, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, and a lot of times you have this job and the days are not nice, right? You're dealing with unruly people, but we had that drug court graduation the other day, and that's why you do it, right?
Yeah.
To see people succeed, so it's always good to hear something good come out of the court system. So I appreciate that, and I always appreciate your guys' support. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.
Okay, under new business, creating new funds for reconstruction of Snap Ditch. Since our illustrious council is not here this evening for us, we will read this. Thank you, Julie. Joint resolution creating new funds for the receipt of funding related to the reconstruction of Snap Ditch. Whereas the County Board of Commissioners holds the executive, legislative, and home rule for Knox County. Whereas Knox County Council holds fiscal powers within Knox County, Indiana. Whereas Knox County has established a Knox County Drainage Board pursuant to Indiana Code 36-9-27. The Knox County Drainage Board has jurisdiction over regulated drains and all powers defined by Indiana law. Whereas the County Drainage Board is restructuring, so this is small print, my glasses don't see this, so bear with me a little bit. I may have to, it's okay, I'll plead whatever you guys need to. So, where it is necessary to establish 2 new funds in the Knox County Auditor's Office into which the SNAP ditch system funds are to be deposited and withdrawn. Whereas the SNAP ditch maintenance fund shall include all drain maintenance assessments collected that were added to the property tax bills beginning with the 2024 payable 2025 taxes. These maintenance assessments will continue into the future annually with each property tax cycle. This fund shall also receive any penalties or late charges that are accrued in local payments, late payments for maintenance assessment payments. Whereas the SNAP Ditch Reconstruction Fund assessments are billed and collected separately on a special bill sent to the treasurer's office, the property owners have up to 5 years to pay these drain reconstruction assessments. The treasurer will send out annual statements to each owner depicting the balance due to their reconstruction assessments for each parcel. The reconstruction fund shall include all reconstruction assessments collected and also annual interest and deferred payments below over the 5-year period, as well as all penalties for late charge, accrued, and late payments. Now therefore it be resolved by the Board of Commissioners and Knox County Council of Knox County, Indiana, that there is created a new fund from the Auditor's Office that shall be entitled SNAP Ditch Maintenance Fund. And the auditor has issued a fund number of 2736 with respect to these funds. There is created a new fund with the Auditor's Office that shall be entitled SNAP Ditch Reconstruction Fund that the auditor has issued a number 2737 with respect to these funds. The funds shall be used for purpose permitted by law and consistent with this joint resolution. All legal requirements for approving, distributing, and utilizing said funds shall be undertaken. The auditor shall keep accurate and complete financial records of the receipt and expenditure of all funds deposited and paid from the SNAP Ditch Maintenance Fund and SNAP Ditch Reconstruction Fund. Motion to approve this.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Yocum, seconded by Councilman Chatton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign. Motion passes 7-0.
Real big.
You got it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just out of safety's sake, this is a lot smaller print, so Councilman Hillenbrand's going to read this one. So,
It is tiny.
So this is the amended interlocal cooperation agreement between Knox County, Indiana, by its Board of Commissioners, Knox County Council, and Knox County Solid Waste Management District. The agreement is made and entered into between Knox County, Indiana, its Board of Commissioners, and Knox County Council, also known as the county, and the Knox County Solid Waste Management District, known as Solid Waste, by its Board of Directors. Whereas the county has the ability to offer employment benefits and incentives to its employees that Solid Waste is unable to match in cost and or quality. Whereas Solid Waste serves the geographic region of Knox County, whereas Solid Waste desires to provide higher quality benefits and incentives to its employees at a more advantageous cost than it would otherwise be able to obtain. Whereas solid waste serves the geographic region of Knox County, Indiana, excellent benefits are necessary to acquire and retain quality employees, which both parties recognize will increase the services and stability of solid waste to serve Knox County, Indiana. Whereas solid waste also requires certain administrative services relating to the payment of payroll of its employees. Whereas Knox County not only has the expertise but the payroll system necessary to provide the services required by solid waste. Whereas solid waste in Knox County are empowered pursuant to Indiana Code 36-1-7 to contract together on the basis of mutual advantage to provide services and facilities in a manner and pursuant to forms of government organization that will accord best with geographic, economic, population, and other factors influencing the needs and development of local government. Now, therefore, county and solid waste do hereby enter into this agreement with the following terms and conditions. 1, duration. The agreement is perpetual in duration other than the financing provisions under Section 3, which are annual in duration subject to the Knox County Council budget appropriations. 2, purpose. The purpose of this agreement is to give permissions to the county to secure employment benefits and incentives on behalf of solid waste, wherein solid waste would in return reimburse the county for the actual cost of the benefits provided to solid waste employees / agents. 2, financing in specific terms. Subsection A, county will provide solid waste employees the same benefits and incentives it provides to county employees. The provisions of any employment benefits incentives to solid waste employees is subject to any policy, plan terms, and the Knox County Personnel Policies Handbook. Solid waste employees shall be bound by any Knox County policy, plan terms, and/or county personal policy handbook related to the provision of employee benefits received. B, Knox County shall bear the initial costs associated with the provision of employment benefits incentives to solid waste employees. Solid waste shall reimburse the county all costs associated with the provision of employment benefits incentives to solid waste employees within 10 days of the county presenting any itemized invoice for its reimbursement. 3, payroll services. The county shall provide payroll services to solid waste, including the issuance of payroll checks for all employees electing such services, the arranging of direct deposits, the preparation and maintenance of all records reasonable or statutorily required to support such payments, the effecting of appropriate amounts of withholding for taxes, and authorized expenditures for each participating individual. Preparation of and filing of all returns required by any regulatory authority and compliance with all proper wage execution and associated collections work. Within 5 days of each calendar month, the county shall invoice solid waste the amount equal to solid waste total payroll cost for the immediately preceding month. Said invoices shall be paid by solid waste within 30 days of receipt. 4, termination. The agreement that may be terminated by either county or solid waste in writing at any time for any reason. Any termination notice shall be provided within 30 days of termination. The parties understand and agree that any federal law, state law, policy, plan terms, and/or county personnel policies handbook related to the provisions of employee benefits that extends the employment benefit beyond termination of this agreement shall continue to be provided on the same terms as set forth herein. 5, administration. County will administer the requirements of this agreement through its executive and home rule powers. County shall retain an employee, agent, or independent contractor to perform the requirements set out within. Furthermore, the Knox County Solid Waste Director shall be the point of contact for solid waste. 6, property. County will manage, acquire, holding, dispose, etc., any property that might be involved with this agreement. 7, effectiveness. The agreement shall become effective after execution by all of the parties. 8, filing. Pursuant to Indiana Code 36176, the Knox County Auditor shall file this agreement with the Indiana State Board of Accounts for audit purposes no later than 60 days after it takes effect, and shall provide all parties with evidence of the transmittal of the State Board of Accounts. Knox County Auditor shall also record this agreement with the Knox County Recorder for public notice.
Michelle, you have anything on this, or?
I just gave these questions. I know that's a lot. Pardon the phone, I brought mine so I can zoom in and read it, cause it
Thank
is
you.
really tiny. Yeah. Did you guys read through it? Are you okay with everything in the agreement? It's pretty much the same from what I understand. It's been set up this way since the beginning of the district in the 90s. I think this just sort of makes it official. I think there was reference to it in the original ordinance when the district was established in the 90s. There might be an interlocal agreement floating around somewhere. So we found a few references to this agreement in other resolutions and things like that. And so Drew Porter and our attorney for the district, Graham Dykes, collaborated on this. The only new thing, I think, is the invoicing of what the district is expected to pay back. So that's been sort of worked out with the auditor's office as far as, because we're sort of I guess you'd call it a quasi department, we're not always, we don't have access to the same system. None of our billing goes through the auditor's office like every other department. Everything is in-house. So it's hard for us sometimes to determine how much do we reimburse the county for paying all this payroll and these benefits for us. So they're working on, and they've been doing a good job of getting us those documentation. As far as onboarding of new employees, we don't have that very often. So whatever costs are associated with that can also be billed to the district as well. But for this, it's mainly just the payroll and the benefits package. Right now, we have 3 full-time employees, 2 of which are on Medicare, so it's hard to find insurance coverage for one. Can't do it, actually. So I didn't know if anybody had questions. That's the only reason I came. So, you good? Okay.
Questions?
The only question I have is for the auditor's office as far as the timelines that are associated with this. Is that okay with?
Yeah, I think so. I thought that, one that you just read about, within 5 days of each calendar month. Yeah, I don't.
The county shall invoice solid waste the amount equal to solid waste total payroll cost for the immediately preceding month. Is that 5 days?
Maybe 5 days is too soon, I don't know.
I'm not really sure where they came up with the 5 days, to be honest, so I think you guys normally give us the budgetary status report, and most of the things are on there, and I know Leah is working on a report for payroll so that we can have it itemized to see who got paid for what, and so that way we can reimburse that way. So I think, all of our accounting is done at Kemper CPA Group, so they were needing something concrete, itemized, so that they can do their job in order to cut the check. So that's kind of where this came from. So, I mean, I think as long as after each payroll, within a given amount of time, it'll be fine, so.
They only usually do the budgetary status.
At the end of the month, yeah. So I think they were probably thinking after each payroll is paid out, then that whatever was paid out on that payroll should just be sent over to us. But I think Leah's been doing it monthly, and monthly's fine. So, over the years, we've done it a lot of different ways. We've reimbursed once a year for the whole year. We've done it twice a year. Now we're doing it monthly. So monthly seems to work really well for us. If that works for you guys. That was just the whole point of this, was just to make sure, it's hard for us to pay you back if we're not sure how much to pay you back and for what, so, yeah. Okay.
As long as the auditor's office is okay with the wording and
if it's a
I would
holiday or
assume it'd
something,
be
yeah.
Be business days anyway, I would assume.
Right,
I mean,
maybe I should say,
that's what I would just, I mean,
Matt, what number is that? Is that
Number 3 under payroll services.
number 3? Okay.
About the second to last sentence.
Because they honestly didn't ask me how many days we needed, so I don't know who came up with the 5 days. So, I mean, I'm fine, you know, like I say, our board meets the last Tuesday of every month, so as long as we have everything we need in time to get it to, you know, Kemper so that we can cut a check, I'm fine. So I think however much time you need is fine, if you need 10 days, 15 days, or whatever.
So you're comfortable as written then? With
Yeah.
maybe having to tweak the time frame a little bit, which
Yeah.
I believe they could.
Rather than
You guys can work that out.
I don't think anybody's got any
No.
angina over.
No, I think
over
we'll be
that.
good.
And, you know, and this is one of the things, I know it's been kind of a, I don't know, hard thing to wrap our brain around sometimes. You know, the county's not, I mean, you are putting the money out first, and then we're reimbursing 100% for everything. I know there's been some question about that before, so, yeah, we'll get into that at budget hearing time again, I guess, but, yeah.
So as far as the document itself, was it Graham Backus and Drew?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah, yeah, they work together. I don't know where they came up with the days, maybe, I don't know. They didn't ask me about the days, but, so, yeah.
I don't think any, unless State Board of Accounts would have to catch something, I don't think anybody's really, like I said, all that.
Yeah, I know it used to be an issue when we only reimbursed once or twice a year for State Board of Accounts at the end of the year to get everything to match, because there was always a couple of days on that last payroll. And we used to have that reimbursable account, which, yeah, and then we would have to, but it kept records very clearly for us, and so that's an adjustment that we've been working through. It gets a little tricky because now we're part of the whole general fund, where we used to have a reimbursable account that was just solely for this purpose. So it was penny for penny, easy to see, but now it's a little trickier, but I think Julie's got it figured out, so we're at their mercy. I mean, we'll write you a check. It may not be for the right amount, but, yeah. And we appreciate you guys letting us, piggyback on that, because it's hard to get good benefit package for just 1 or 2 people, so.
I would move we accept the interlocal.
Second.
I think,
Just roll on.
personal opinion.
Well, and,
let
yeah,
'em-
and we can work that out. I
Let
mean,
them
I'm
work
not-
it out.
Yeah,
We will have the,
That's-
upon
Like I say,
review,
that would be, I can't imagine it would be business days,
No.
assumable business days anyway, so.
but we've reviewed it, you reviewed it, Michelle's reviewed it, everybody's set, ready to go. We just need a motion by Councilman Chatton. Need a second by Councilman Yocum to accept the amended interlocal cooperation agreement between Knox County, Indiana Board of Commissioners and County Council. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
thank you.
Motion passes 7-0.
You wouldn't believe what work they do out there. It is amazing. They cut cords off of things and save them for a year and sell those for every dime they can get. It is amazing.
They got Jimmy, that's all we need.
Yeah.
No, they got
So, I mean,
another 180 days at the start.
so I would assume sometime in July.
Okay.
December's, so I would say sometime in
I don't know when the hell they started though.
December's.
Did you go by there and look at that?
You guys ready to move on?
Yep.
Knock this out of the way?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, additional request. Number 1. Tech support for ADP, request from the commissioners. I can tell you that from using in the auditor's office, ADP, training is very important, very peril. They need to stay on top of it, and, something we need to look at pretty heavy. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Yocum,
Second.
seconded by Councilperson Crismore. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 7-0. For Superior Court 1, Guardian Ad Litem, an additional $5,000. That's
It's a
due to trials and whatever else. Again, as busy as the court system is, it's not much question, so.
I don't believe there is a line item for a guardian ad litem. Yeah. So,
I think there is.
Did you find one?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there is one in there somewhere.
What's the number?
I don't know. But
What's the number?
Yeah, it's right there, 13710, 3,000.
It says 137, 10, 3,000.
it's in there is one in the budget.
137, 10,000. It's in the book. Okay.
yeah, so there's 2,000 budgeted currently for the guardian ad litem in Superior Court.
And she's requested 5,000 additional on top of that, so.
And that's, I'm guessing, already been expended.
Okay. Didn't need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the additional appropriation as written for the guardian ad litem.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Hildebrand, seconded by Councilman Reitmeyer for the guardian ad litem. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. 7-0 passes. We've already discussed the court reporter with Judge Johnson. That is taken care of. Now, Ms. Vicky, you here to come up, please?
Right here.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Is that the new boss?
Pardon?
So this is the new boss?
No. No, I don't know that anybody wants that. I think I do a good job with what I'm doing, I hope so. I know last month we had submitted, before Matt left, submitted a document for additional for Fund 1169 for road truck and tractor repair. We took a pretty hard hit this year, of course, with the weather the way it was. We spent quite a bit of additional money, you know, salt and sand, and on snowplow blades, chute assemblies, bolts, you name it, to repair that equipment from being out plowing all the roads. And now also with some of the new equipment, with EPA guidelines and the depth issues that are now cropping up with some of our equipment, a lot of those repairs have to be sent out, and it's costly. So that line item took really a big hit this year.
I spoke to Matt last night, briefly, he called, and one of their newer trucks has
Yeah.
had several issues and has been down, so.
Yes.
Said the winter was extremely hard on it, which we can believe. I mean,
Any of it under warranty?
warranties have expired.
Yeah, most of our equipment is pretty aged. And from what I understand, talking with other highway departments, Matt, Benji, when he was there, that's always it's really tricky to try to balance maintaining roads, paving, and then equipment. So a lot of times if you have equipment, then you don't have the money you want to take care of your roads. And I think we have done a great job with our roads. You know, we put a lot into them, with chip and seal, with microsurfacing, with paving, you name it. So our equipment is not the greatest. It's getting older. So,
And speaking with Matt, he said this request would be enough to get him through the rest of the year. Is
I
that
think
correct?
so. I do. Beginning of the year, we had a couple pieces of equipment that, two of our older dump trucks, the two oldest ones that we have, they had to have, injections repaired. And that was about approximately $13,000 each. Yeah, equipment it's pricey to buy it, it's pricey to maintain it.
Right.
Of course, like, you know, and everything else goes up, so that goes up too.
And unfortunately, you have to drive until they break.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what our guys do. Everything we have is really getting quite a bit older and it's taking a beating.
Was
You know,
Councilman
but
Hill-
I'm kind of glad to see that in a way because I know then they're out there doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, you hate to see it, but good, get out there and do your job.
Like Councilman Hillenbrand just mentioned, this is probably something we need to look at during budget time to elevate
Yes,
to where we could probably never get it to where it should be, but we
Right.
can get it at least closer than what it has been in the
Yes.
past. We have to reprioritize a lot of things. so.
yes. And Matt had looked at, you know, he had a spreadsheet, we were kind of looking at equipment, you know, next year, 2 years, 5 years out, 10 years out. I've always tried to look at what equipment really are we spending the most on to repair? What's hitting us the hardest? Because for me, I would think we want to start repairing or replacing those pieces of equipment sooner rather than later. But then you look at the budget and think, okay, how much is this? How much do we have? Can we do that yet? We may have to wait. And it's definitely trying to juggle that. We've had equipment leases, and that is great in the form of the repair side of things, but it can be costlier in the long run. So,
Okay.
But your head is definitely in the right position as far as looking at a capital plan, as far as big expenses.
Yes.
So that we can share that with the accounting firm to help plan that kind of stuff out a little more.
yes, absolutely. Thank you. Try, especially now that, you know, we're kind of in between,
Right.
no engineer, superintendent, so I'm not sure how long that will be, so, and I know thinking about budgets coming up, if we don't have someone, then
We got you.
you got,
Yeah.
you got me, so we'll see how that works out. But I know I have resources I can reach out to for guidance in certain areas, especially when it comes to stuff like paving.
Thank you for stepping up.
Yep.
No problem, happy to.
Anybody have any further questions? Everybody good? Thank you, Vicki.
While she's here, I want to make a comment on Vicki and the highway department and the road bosses. They had what conference book did we have?
Oh, at IX,
Which is the
IX
county.
last week.
It's the county highway engineers and superintendents convention, and they were all there.
Great
They
conference.
all attended the meetings. They were all, we had a good time, and I think everybody learned a lot. And that
Yes.
means a lot to me, being a former commissioner. I want those guys at those conventions going to those meetings, and they did participate. So.
Yeah, and that's really a good conference.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it this year from last year, only because earlier in the year, I think it was February, I got to go to the AIC Legislative Conference. And at that conference, I got to hear about some of the bills that were in the House that we're looking at and, you know, whether they were going to pass or not. So at this conference, I kind of got to see what did actually pass, how that will affect us. So, and that was really nice. This is the first year I've got to see kind of that whole process a little bit, and it was fantastic. Some of that is gonna now, I need to probably maybe talk to commissioners about some things that we need to make some changes on due to those bills passing.
I just think it's important for, for at least the management.
Yes,
Vicki
and the
to go to those
foreman.
conferences, and they were all there and they participated.
Foreman got a lot out of it too, especially when they were talking about Paisley ratings and things like that, so very helpful, and we appreciate that we're allowed to do this. The guys got a lot of it. Thank you so much for mentioning that. It was a good conference.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Chatton, seconded by Councilman Meyer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Okay.
Motion passes
Great.
7-0.
Council, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate your time and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Council reports. Commissioner Meyer?
I went to, along with Chief Hillenbrand and with James Reese, I went for the first time to drug court graduation. It was standing room only in circuit court. I was amazed. A couple people, I didn't realize that there was a couple people there that I knew.
had, Kevin was in the, first meeting of the insurance task force the commissioners put together the other day, and Kevin had got a couple other plans from different counties that was out there and things. I think that, you know, the big thing is, and it's always been the big thing, you know, that the family plan is expensive for Cadillac insurance like we've got. So I think that kind of Andrew's taking all those things, hopefully meet in another 30 days or so, and maybe put out, hopefully to put out a, survey to the employees and just kind of, you know, see where's the price points that, you know, would fit better and try to make something work. It only takes money from our side to make that happen. So
They print it every day.
yeah. So it's but anyway, so that, and you know, just how is it really worth, you know, how many people would really pay, you know, a certain amount to make that work. So anyway, I thought that was a good start. It's not gonna be a thing that's super fast. Don't have anything, you know, for this year, because open enrollment's essentially right now and it started pretty quick. So but anyway, it was a good start anyway to
Good deal.
take a look at that.
Good. Councilman Yocum? Just to finish off what Councilman Chatton was mentioning, with good benefits, it brings good employees. And that's one of our major downfalls is the insurance. Of course it is, I think, all over the state of Indiana, but we're working on it. The committees are set up to go. We'll get some public input, we'll get some employee input. These guys will be working on it and hopefully get it lined up and we can maintain some good working staff, so. Anybody has any further? Yes, sir?
Code compliance ordinances, they were on there, Bruceville, for the town of Bruceville, town of Monroe, and town of Oaktown, and town of Sandy Point. We just need you guys' signatures to complete the
Okay,
interlocal.
okay.
It's the ordinance with the solid waste and the three different things,
Okay.
John, can you read those again?
Yeah. First. Well, I know who's not.
Do we need to make a motion on it, or do we?
Yeah, I would think.
On the 7. Make a motion to approve
All the interlocals.
all the interlocal, 7 of them, I believe. Have a motion to approve,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Hillenbrand. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes 7-0. Any other things, Julie?
yes, there is.
What?
There's one single sheet over there, and it's for the, salary amendment for approval of the moving from part-time to full-time.
Judge Johnson, okay,
And that's just part of it.
yeah. Already been approved, so we just need a signature. Right, okay. Anybody has any further? We'll call it an evening. Thank you very much. You have everything covered? You have everything covered?
As far as I know.
Huh?
As far as I know.
Be the 30.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, that's,
hopefully. So, one thing, and I guess it's things you realize and things you don't realize, but, so, I mean, I realize this part, but, you know, we cover the first $75,000 of all, you know, of the employees. So when you add your family on there, we cover the first $75,000